Help me get started. This is so important. This could be a world changer. It is changing the world. EQ is changing the world. We can teach people how to be peaceful inside and out. We can teach people how to be peaceful. We can create peace. That's a big deal. That's a world changing thing. I know you guys don't do much nonprofits. Most of yours are small. That's cool. But this is huge. We have basically hacked education. We have hacked emotions, how to deal with your emotions, and you got to connect with them, with yourself and with others. You got to. The suicide rate is skyrocketing in the United States and in the world. That's not okay. People don't know how to deal with their feelings. How about the friggin' mass shootings in the United States? How about the opioid overdoses? Our life expectancy in the United States for the first time in 150 years is going down. 3 years in a row, it's going down. Why? Because people are killing themselves. Or they're dying from opioids, they're dying from drinking, liver and kidney diseases, or they're dying from obesity, heart disease, clogged arteries, all of it. Down. Cancer, we're doing great. We're the only one that's going really well. Up. We've got good cognitive education. We have good information in our heads. We don't know squat about our emotions in general. And we don't know how to deal with them, and we deal with them poorly. And so now, based, in my opinion, on the number one entertainment source in the world, which is video games, and the number one video game is Grand Theft Auto, you know how violent that is? That's how you deal with your anger, right? You fucking run them over, right? Or shoot them. Or if you're in denial about your anger, anger's a biggie. If you're in big denial about your anger, oh no, I could never. And you hold it inside, and you don't have anybody to talk to, and you don't know how to deal with it. And so, boom, instead of me shooting them, I shoot me. Suicide, fucking skyrocket, number 2 cause of death in 10 to 24-year-olds in the United States. Number 2, imagine a 10-year-old. You got any kids? You know any kids? 10 years old is not very old. That's 6th grade. Stress, anxiety. People are dying. People are dying to know what we know about EQ. Help me teach them, please. It's important. And it's not just for them. I mean, it is for them, but it's not just for them. It's for us too. They're going to run the show here pretty soon. We need to teach them how to do it right. We don't know and we don't know because it isn't because our parents were mean and didn't. Some of them are, but not very many. Usually they want the best they can for their kids, but they didn't know. Our parents didn't know. They've never known. We've never known. But now we do. Now we do. Please, let's tell them. And just telling them is great. All right. First, you got to have awareness. It starts with awareness. You can't do squat unless you know it's something, and you can accept it, and then you can decide what action to take. So you got to have awareness first. But just awareness is not good enough. It's not enough in some people, it actually has changed their lives. I've talked to people, I love it. I ask people, anybody I meet, bartender, lady at the store next to me, in line, cashiers, I'm like, you know what? I went to a thing on hearing aids yesterday, and the first thing, hi, how you doing? Where are you guys? Hey, have you ever heard of emotional intelligence? It's an older couple, obviously wealthy and wonderfully, connected with me and just really nice energy. Have you ever heard of emotional intelligence? Nope. Both of them. Nope. They're probably 80. Nope. Never heard of it. I go, what do you think that means? And they're like, well, I guess like maturity and understanding what's happening around. I'm like, yep, you got it. Yep, exactly. Kind of important subject. And they're like, yeah, it is. Anyway, I ask people all the time, and probably half the people have never even heard the concept. And there's a couple people that I've asked, and they're like, So what is that? And I go, well, it's about being smart about your emotions. You've got fear, your anger, sadness, stuff like that that's going on inside. Guilt, shame, resentment, revenge, all this stuff that's happening inside of us. And we don't never learn how to deal with that stuff. They don't teach us in school. And if we do figure out how to do it, it's because we figured it out on our own, probably. Maybe we were lucky enough to have a parent or somebody, a mentor, somebody who was emotionally aware and taught you or showed you a role model of how to be, but that's still on you. You had to figure it out on your own, right? So now we can tell people how to do it without them having to figure it out, without it being random. Tell everybody. I think we ought to tell people whether they like it or not. I think we ought to tell people, like prisoners. That's one of the first things you got. There's divergent. What's it called for violence? Divergence. That's not the right word. Anyway, it's you have to go to counseling. Haha, right? I think that all of them, traffic tickets, everybody that you have a captured audience, you're going to learn about emotional intelligence, at least a little bit, at least the concept that you have thoughts and you have feelings and they're different and they affect every single one of your decisions and every single one of your actions. And you have to take them both into account. You can't just think through it and then you're done. There is emotions on everything. At 24/7, 365, you have thoughts, you have feelings, you can't not think, you can't not feel. So get good at it and get real with it. Own it, own it, because it's yours. You made them. Really? Nobody makes you angry. You make yourself angry. More specifically, you make your angry thoughts make you feel angry. If you don't like your angry thoughts, change them. Make a new thought. I don't like that thought. That's not working for me, or it doesn't feel good, or blah. I don't like that thought. I had that thought over and over and over again. Make a new one. They're yours. Make a new one. And it's uncomfortable at first. You're like, yeah, well, but slowly make new habits, make new thoughts. You put them in there. They're like, oh. And if I were to think that, what if that guy that just cut me off? What if they were rushing to the hospital because they're in pain, or they've got somebody in the car that's pregnant, or they had a really bad day and they're not paying attention and they're just, it's just awful for them. You don't know what's going on with people. Everybody has stuff going on. You don't know what's going on with people. If I thought that, if I knew that person in that car was under stress, incredible stress, wouldn't you maybe think about it differently than you son of a gun and I'm going to go and I'm going to shoot your ass? Maybe. And who's in charge of that? You are. Emotional responsibility, biggest thing in the world. Biggest thing that changed everything. I've done 20 of these emotional EQ 101 videos. I just came back from doing number 20 just a few minutes ago. That's why I'm all fired up. And in every one of them, I say there's emotional responsibility. You are in charge of you, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. Every single one of them are yours. You created them. You can deal with them. You can manage them. You can manage them. Nobody else is going to. Nobody else even knows. There's people, we've done classes for 33 years. There's people that have been angry at someone for 30, 50, 70. One lady was 90 years old. 91 is our record. She was mad at her dad since she was this high, 91 years old. We helped her deal with that. She was like, I said, come on. Who's carrying that? Does he even know? Oh, no, he's been dead for years. If he knew, would he care? No, that's what I'm pissed about. Who's carrying that? You are. Why? Because I don't know how to deal with it. This is really important. So we're creating technology. It's technology based. How could that be? Well, we're training by online classes. We're not yet. We're working on it. We have creating a EQ database that is everything that's going on in the world. There's tons of stuff going on in the world in EQ. Books and workshops and therapy and, sorry, this is spasmo, and and just goes. There's training, there's coaching, it's in business, it's at home, it's in schools, it's everywhere, because we are finding that it's so incredibly effective and so incredibly profound that that it works, and we need to tell everybody. And people are doing it in huge ways, but nobody knows what all's going on. So I'm creating an EQ database of all things EQ. Okay, online, searchable, find stuff. Will you add stuff when you find things? What do you do to go get help? What do you do? What is your best advice? What do you suggest? What have you learned? Our society is aging, right? We have a very much aging society, right? All these people are going to die with all of this great information inside of them. Oh, I learned that in the school of hard knocks. I learned that through life. I learned that in war. I learned that, from my parents. What did you learn? What if you take that to your grave? What good did it do? I'm glad you got something out of it, but share it, please. You'll feel better, and we can use that information, please. So EQ database at EQ University, there's tons of schooling and classes, and we're creating more and more all the time. And it doesn't have to be ours. Other people, there's tons of them. So we got to put this all in a university format where people can go and find what they want to learn about, and we'll teach them. And the first bunch of classes are free because we're just going to create them in EQ 101, 201, 301, the very basics of me dealing with me dealing with you, me dealing with all of you, that kind of stuff. Me being a leader, me being... all kinds of different stuff. So we want to get the first classes are free, and other people can put classes on there for free, or they can charge for them. Okay, it could be a real university and real classes, and you get credits. We are teaching teachers how to teach EQ. It's going to be in the EQ University. So EQ database, EQ University, and probably the most important one. Well, one of the most important ones is the EQ family, a community, a connection place where people can talk to other people who are going through the same stuff, people that are on their same level, that are learning just like they are, or that have already learned this stuff. Can you help me? Or I learned this stuff, I'll help you. Huh? Pretty cool, right? So community, family, connect with people, belonging. Us people, we are social beings. We want to connect. We want to have friends. We want to belong. Alfred Adler, one of the most famous psychologists, worked with Freud, and they split because they used to work together at the beginning, and they split because Freud says you get stuck in certain areas of your life, and you have to go through, years and years of psychotherapy and all this. And Adler said, no, you don't. You decide all this stuff. We're only born with two fears, fear of falling and fear of loud noises. Right, Savi? Fear of falling, fear of loud noise. That means all your other fears that you have, you made them up. You created them. You created them. You made them up. You carrying them with you, and they're not real. They're learned. It's nurture versus nature. They're not nature. They're nurture. You created them, and not only all your fears, but how much anger are you born with? Nada, zero, none. Kids are babies come out and there's like, hi, we have a new granddaughter that is the most loving, beautiful, wonderful, cracks up because she has nothing to be angry about. When she's hungry, she eats. When she has a dirty diaper, she gets changed. And other than that, she's happy. That's how we start off. And we don't end up that way. How come? Why does it have to be like that? We're born with super high EQ, and it's downhill from there. Sometimes quickly, when there's trauma and there's horrible parents and stuff like that, or things happen to you, sometimes it goes down fast. Sometimes it takes years. But we manage to go down. Sometimes we can come back up, which is pretty cool. But man, this stuff is so optional, and it's so changeable, and it's so controllable. And oh, by the way, it's all free. It's all free. The information you getting, like if you go to a therapist or you go to a coach or you go to a class, that may not be free. To give you this information initially, you buy a book, you go to a workshop, it may not be free initially because you're hiring someone to give you their time or their expertise. Okay, that's cool, right? Other than that, once they teach you, It's yours. It's information. It's just information. It's energy. It's your choice. We're giving you your choice. We're empowering you to take control of your own life. You don't need anything or anybody to practice EQ. Nothing. Zero. Nada. None. Nothing. You can heal yourself. You can be happy. You can be successful. You can figure out how to be successful. You can figure out how to be peaceful. Zero cost, zero need for other people. I mean, we need to connect, but we don't need them. We like to connect. We love to connect, but we don't need anybody. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing about EQ. Another one of those like kind of magic. I say there's a science to EQ, left brain science, that makes sense of how your amygdala works and how your, your deep brain and all blah blah. I'm not very good at the science part of it, but there's very definitely, how your emotions work and how long it takes for them to settle back down and your synapses and all that good stuff. That's really important, and it's cool, and it's all science based, and that's real. It's biological. It's real. Emotions are a real thing in your body, and there's an art to it. That's what I like to. That's my specialty. The art to it is what do you do with that? Okay, so you know that your brain works a certain way. Yippee. What do you do with it? What's the art to it? Well, how do I create? How do I love? How do I connect with people? How do I stay positive? How do I enjoy even though I have cancer? And the other day I ripped the heck out of my leg and took a big, huge chunk of skin out of my leg. It's gone. It's awful. And I got to go dress it in a few minutes, but what do you do with that? What do you do with that? That's the art to it. That's what's cool. What do you do with it all? And the art, the science and the art you put together becomes magic. It's magic. It is. It's kind of magical. It can change everything for you. It can literally change everything. And I think it can change things for everybody. I think it's natural, organic, God-given. We're born that way. Doesn't come any more natural than your thoughts and your feelings. They're happening. You can't not think and you can't not feel. They're happening, and you didn't start it, but you got it now. So, what do you want to do with it? And if you can control those, it's kind of magical. You can do things that, wow. So, anyway, not anyway. So, A, you're in charge of you. B, there are thoughts, they are feelings, and feelings matter. We're really good about our thoughts. We've done some great stuff. That's what we learned in school. We're technologically advanced. Would be based on me standing here looking in my phone to take this beautiful recording and clear, and it's just great because we're really good at technology and we're really good at left brain thoughts. Now add your emotion to it. Add the passion of life. Add love to it. Add that it matters, that people matter, that I matter, that giving works. It feels good. Sharing works. Belonging works. For me, totally self-centered. I want to be the nicest person that I can. Why? Because it feels good. You know why we love? Because it feels good. That's the only reason. We don't have to love. Some people don't. But you know what? It feels really good. And that's why we do it. Reality. It feels really good. Why do we watch TV? Right? Why is entertainment? What's entertainment? Feelings. That's it. It's having taken whatever feeling you had and switching them to some other feelings that are hopefully better for you. That's the whole point. What's sports about? Feeling, I'm gonna kick some ass. I'm part of this team and we're good and we're going for it and we're doing our best and blah blah blah. It's all feelings. It is all of it. It's all of it. Etc. So, the feelings matter way more than you think they do. Give them some credibility. Give them some. There's another word for it. Anyway, they matter. They're super important. Way more than we were told, especially us guys. And the third thing is, once you know that, and you can be aware of what you're feeling and accept what you're feeling, and then decide whether you want to take some action or not. All right, I have this feeling, but I'm not going to do anything about it. Why? Because I'm in charge of my life. I could react to it. I want to. I feel like it. I'm not going to. Cool. Cool, huh? Who's in charge now? I am, right? Pretty neat. So now that you know that, share it, please. Please. Each one, teach one, EQ. Share what you know with somebody else, anybody else, little kid, lady in the grocery, your mom, your teammates, your coach, your coworkers, anybody. I don't care who it is, but share it with somebody. Ask people, have you ever heard of emotional intelligence? How good are you at it? It's kind of fun. It's a fun question. So rate yourself 1 to 10. How emotionally intelligent do you think you are? Just for fun. And then shut up and listen. That's an important communication skill. Shut up and listen to the answer and care a little bit about the answer. But yeah, so share it with somebody else. Each one, teach one, EQ. Once you know, I feel like it's kind of your responsibility to spread it, to share it, to teach it, to give it to somebody else. Otherwise, you're just going to go to your grave and yippee, good for you. See ya. So, how do you want to be remembered? You can change somebody's life by teaching them that their emotions matter and that they are responsible for them. They can manage them. So, please. Bye.